can you just get delulu and go for it? I know that a lot of these videos, and frankly, like it's the point of these videos, they are very pragmatic. They're very systematic in the things that I'm sharing with you. I want them to be, right? That's a whole freaking point here. But also, like when we're talking about business, there are two sides to it. And if you want to actually change your world with your beauty business, you have to have the business foundations in proper order. And you have to have the right strategy, and you have to do the right things. You don't necessarily have to do more things, you just have to do more of the right things. And you need to have solid systems in order to work all of the things out. But then you also have to be energetically sound. And you're probably like, what? That's the most woo-woo thing Lexi ever said. Probably not. But like at the heart of it, I'm not one of those business coach. I'm not like a witch hairdresser. I'm just like, I don't play in that realm. Like I stick to strategy, I stick to business, I stick to business planning, marketing, systems, and things that are proven because my clients get results and that's how we do it. However, you have to be right between your ears to do that stuff and have it last, because the most important and most powerful tool in your business is your mind. And you can literally sabotage yourself subconsciously because you're afraid of success, because you're afraid of the results of what that might mean to your life, to your peers, to what that means to other people. Like, what will people think if I hit that level of success? Like, it's important that you recognize that, but also on the flip side of that, you could get delulu and dream big and freaking go for it and believe that it's gonna happen for you. Like, why would you not, right? Now, maybe you have proof that like it hasn't worked in the past, and I know that, and look, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a therapist, all the things. Sometimes I wish that I would have done that when I went to college instead of what I did do, but we wouldn't be sitting here, and so here I am, right? I pretend definitely to, like, I know what works for me in this realm, and I know what works for my clients, and I know that if you want to know, I say this all the time, I'll come back to that in just a second, but if you are curious about the state of any business, you look to the mindset of the person who is the leader. So if you want to know like the future of any business, you look at how that CEO, how that business owner, how that boss is handling life. You look at how their mindset is. You look at how what's their day-to-day like. If it's chaos, like over and over and over again, not like you have 2 little kids and like this morning was just like an absolute dumpster fire, not like that. But like legitimately, you know what I'm saying? If you want to know how any business is doing, you look to the top, you look to the CEO, you look to their mindset, and you look to how their energy is. Are they in control? Are they like out of control? Are they like, what's it like? Is it chaos? Is it overwhelm? Is it whatever? That's how their business feels. Like it's literally a direct correlation. Now granted, some things can be systematized so well that you can bypass that a little bit. Like the salon owner might be crazy overwhelmed, but things are still going okay. But eventually you can't scale that. You can't scale the chaos. And when it comes down to it, you have to be in a good mindset. There's business strategy and business skills, of course, but there's also business energetics. Like you've got to be in a good place where you can hold that, where you can be like, yeah, I can do that, and we can do this, and I can do that next thing. If you're in a pity party, if you're in a state of distress, you can't do it all at one time, right? And so that's why I started this video with like, let's get delulu and go for it. And like, you have to be a little bit delusional. You of course are delusional as an entrepreneur, like a little tiny bit. Because one day you were like, I'm gonna own this business. I'm gonna do this my way. I'm gonna do it. And then you said, okay. And you talked yourself into it enough to freaking go for it. And that's what you need to do to get to the next level of business, right? You can put all the systems in place and all the things, but if you don't believe it's possible for you, if you don't believe that it's actually gonna work for you, it's not gonna work. I promise you that. It's the same thing, like what you focus on is where you go, right? Like when you're driving the car and the guardrail is there and you keep looking at it, and you're like, I'm so close, right? Like you drift over closer to it. It's the same thing. If you think it's not gonna work, it's not gonna work. Like, you're literally driving to it not working. You're allowing that to be a possibility. Don't let it be a possibility. I recently just had a conversation with some really, really successful and high-level salon owners. Like, amazing, badass women. Amazing salons to work at, women to work with, like all it checks all the boxes, systems in place, all the things. And we were talking about, like, sometimes, like, when your back's up against the wall, you will figure it out. But when you're comfortable, you don't really have to. So, like, you leave room for it to just be like, whatever. But, like, imagine, this is a fun thing to do. Imagine that tomorrow you can still have a salon. Like, you can absolutely have a salon, but you're not allowed to do the thing that you specialize in. What would you do? And it's not like this is just a game, okay? But you can't do it. This is just pretend. It's not real. You'd figure it out. You would make it work for you. You would be just as successful in whatever it is you're doing now, just in some other way. Like, if you couldn't do the thing that you're doing, I know you'd figure it out, right? You would get delulu and freaking go for it because you want it bad enough. And if you don't want it bad enough, then, like, don't want it, I guess. Why are you watching this video? Like, for real. Like, if you don't want it bad enough, like, that's okay. Like, that's actually fine. But also, then stop trying to get there. Like, use your time to, like, pick up a hobby. Like, go have some freaking fun in your life. You know what I mean? Like, and there are times that I have to say, I will ask myself, like, do you really want that? Like, do you want that bad enough to do all of that? Literally, part of it, for me, and be really just super transparent, is doing this 100 days of YouTube. Like, do I really want to grow this channel, and do I really want to do that? And for a minute, I wasn't sure. At about day 20 something, I was like, how bad do I want this? And then I came back and I'm like, no, I freaking want this. I want this. I want what's on the other end of this, right? I want to help, like, hundreds and thousands more people in the beauty industry. I want to help women grow their businesses. I want that to be a reality for people, that they can live the way that I have been so blessed to live because of the beauty industry. Ooh, I just kicked my camera stick, sorry. But, like, it's for real. Like, I want it that bad. So here I am doing this on day, I don't know, whatever. I think we're in the 50s. And so, like, you just have to ask yourself. But there are things as a salon owner that I'm like, we recently installed a scalp spa arm of business. It's a whole thing, and it's fantastic, and I am, like, it's gonna be amazing. But during my maternity leave, we had some setbacks with plumbing and some things, and frankly, it was, I don't want this bad enough right now. And so we put it on pause. And that's a bummer because I had projections for the year and it's not happening. But I don't want it that bad because otherwise I would have made it happen, you know? And I will make it happen. I just didn't want it bad right now. And that's okay too. So I want you to get delulu and go for it, but I also want you to recognize where your head is, right? Your business is not separate from you. Your business is an extension of you, even though it is a business. And as a salon owner, that's a lot of stuff that you're doing and carrying it around, right? So I invite you to check your mindset often, right? But also get delulu and freaking go for it. What would be the best case that could happen? Like, why do we so often just go to the worst case scenario? And we play in that, and that's where we plan from. Go to the freaking moon. Go to the moon. Why not? My husband would be like, oh my gosh, like Tony Robbins, get off the soapbox, right? I wish. But, like, ultimately, like, go to the freaking moon. Go to the moon. Like, why not go there and try that on and see how that feels? How does that make you feel? When we go to worst case scenario, it's because we want to stay safe. But safe keeps you the same, right? Now, I don't want you to be irresponsible. This is just like, it's an exercise, right? This is just about, like, thinking about your business in a different way. Just try it on. Try it on. Do something different. And frankly, take what works for you and leave what doesn't. But today I was talking to one of my clients who is freaking amazing, a wonderful business person, incredible business person. And I said, she's having a hard day. She's having a really hard day. And one of those days that we all have. And it was come on, recalibrate, have a little pity party. For sure, you were allowed, like, you can have a 10-minute pity party, you can have an hour. I do a 10-minute pity party, and then we got to step out of it because we've got work to do. We've got things we want to achieve, right? And then I said, recalibrate, let's go to the moon and get delulu. Get delusional and figure it out. Freaking go for it, right? And so I say the same thing to you today.